Of a wander, and there's the first victim of Cyclone Fina in my immediate area. I'm going to have a little wander around and take a few videos and see what we can find. So we should find a bit of damage around, but we'll see how we go. But anything is good to document. There's one there. There's another just in there. Just paused it for a minute and cut back to this. But the big fig tree that I shown in one of my previous videos of the prison farm is well and truly intact. It doesn't even look like there's much damage, maybe a few bits on the floor, but that's about it. Here's the other tree that I showed from a distance. It is a mahogany. So far both trees that are completely down are African mahogany trees. But we'll just look over there, and there's a line of trees just there that are quite stripped. That had a lot of leaf on it earlier, or the other day. Not anymore. We have a lot of branch debris just here, but that is from a dead tree above. So not surprising that a lot of this stuff fell down. It would have been rotted already. But you would not have wanted to be under here at all. One of these came down on you, you'd end up being very injured, if not worse. Once again, mahogany tree down, or part of it. A big branch. That's definitely the likely, that is the most damage that I've seen so far. It's just a lot of mahogany tree branches and stuff. And people wondering why I felt like I was safe where I was. This is basically the reason. As you can see, this place is thick young trees. So although there was a few branches and a couple of trees in the open down, there is hardly any damage within this trees, which buffered a lot of the wind when it was coming towards, because the shed I'm under is right over there. Can't see it because of how thick the trees are. So that's why I knew I would be safe. So as I've said in a few comments on Facebook, I'm experienced, I know what I'm doing. Yes, accidents do happen, of course, like storm chasers have died, the most experienced storm chasers have died, but we know how to minimize the risks. So that is why I was confident where I was, and knew that I was going to be safe in the category of cyclone that I witnessed. If it was any stronger, I would have left. There would have been no way I would have been up here at all, because these trees would only provide so much protection before they were destroyed in anything stronger than what we saw. So there's a limit you do, and that's the thing, we understand the limit and the risks, and we know what to do in those limits, and we also know when it's time to pack up your stuff and go. So yeah, just wanted to quickly point that out. And once again, we have a big old mahogany tree that's come down. Well, not big, but decent sized. And I had a friend stop by today, and he says these power lines are down somewhere. So there's some power lines that, hang on, let me just get out of this puddle. Oh, there we go. So there's these power lines here that help with power going to the weather station over here. And apparently the lines are down somewhere. So we'll have to safely see if I can find. Maybe a way away. But so there's this tree. Big old tree down. It's just starting to rain again. This is all caused by the same cyclone, dragging moisture and causing a bit of shower activity. No one really that will be watching now knows what this forest actually looked like beforehand, but I can tell you now that it does look a little light on the leaves. Not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. I'm going to take a little walk and I can see a lot of branches down, so a lot of limbs come down off those gum trees. But it was only a category 2 winds that came through, so at least mostly category 2. There could be possibly category 3 may have hit out here, don't know, but it was mostly category 2, so I was not expecting super amounts of damage, but it's still quite a bit. The leaves definitely look like lower. There's not as many, and there's not as many branches. You can definitely see from my point of view anyway, having looked at this every day since I've been up here, it definitely looks different. It doesn't look the same forest that I knew just the other day. So let's go and have a look and see what's in there. Oh, and the weather station has their generator on, so yeah, the power has definitely been cut somewhere down there. I'm not sure how far up there, but so yes, but yeah, everything else up here is fine. So as I thought, it's mostly quite big branches that are down. See various bits and pieces. There's a few widowmaker branches around. Oh, that looks like a big snap. Let's go and have a closer look at that. Oh yeah, this one's a bigger one. I wish I could describe the smell out here. This is just mostly eucalyptus. All I can smell is the just strong scent of eucalyptus. I wish I could actually put it in the video so you could all smell it, but I can't. So yeah, this is quite a big bit of a tree that came down. Look at that. Decent size. A little tree over there that probably got hit by it or came down on its own, I'm not sure. But yes, you definitely wouldn't want to be. There's a little tree down there. Doesn't look like it did get hit by this one. But yeah, you can see a lot of the trees are quite lacking is probably the best way to describe it, but you definitely wouldn't want to be anywhere near here, because that's one hell of a tree. It's quite a big branch. There's the rest of it still intact, but that's a decent size. Definitely a decent size. It's just bits of tree everywhere out here. Probably hold it so you can see, but there is just bits of tree everywhere. Another decent sized branch. Another widowmaker. That came down on you. Not much up this end of the forest, but that end is obviously it's more open at the end, so it would have got a brunt of the wind when it was full blast. So it's mostly just the few branches at the top in this inner part. So I'll keep going, see what I find. More of the same around here. You can't really see it well, but let me try and zoom in a bit. But there are various branches, some big, some small, laying about. So that's not too bad. Pretty well consistent with a Category 2 cyclone. Wouldn't expect any major damage to the native foliage. Just some of the weaker trees that have shallower roots maybe. And trees that had termites in. So overall, the native trees are built and grown. They've evolved to take these kinds of conditions up in the tropics of Australia. So yeah, overall not too bad, but definitely consistent with a Category 2, as we saw. Open the more open part of the bush. There's a bit more leaf litter about and branches around here. So definitely a bit more damage in these parts, but that's because it's a lot more open here than it was in the other part. It's quite a few decent sized branches come down. Some more branches down from these trees. You may have noticed those in previous videos, although it's usually dark when I'm out here, so you wouldn't really see them clearly, but there's some more of those laying on the floor down there.